You have heard about Veronica. It is not recorded in any of the Gospels. And by the way, according to the tradition, the name of the girl was not Veronica. The name of the girl was Berenice. And why Veronica? This is the Greek name of the thing. Verum icons, the real face. That means the name is not Veronica. That means the real face. Okay? But now, what is recorded in the Gospel is that according to the Jews, and this is very interesting because you see how the Shroud and the Gospels matches with the history and with the Jewish culture. According to the Jews, you were not allowed to look at the face of one justified man. Crucified man, you couldn't look at his face. So, when Jesus was dead, they were obliged to cover. Okay, imagine in the cross, what says the Gospel? And saying, in St. John says, consummatum est, everything is over, finished, he died. In St. Matthew, Father, in your hands I went. Anyway, once he's dead, he does like this. So they were obliged to cover his face during that time, while they put down him from the cross. Then they put in a place, clean a little bit. They don't have time. And according to the Jewish law, that man, we don't have time, but Jesus filled the fourth situations, obliging the Jews to do like this. He couldn't be sepulted, buried, entombed in a private tomb, because he was a justified. How do you say? Justiciado.
A criminal.
Yeah, he was a criminal.
Condemned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they couldn't, according to the Jewish ritual, it was supposed to be cleaned and to be washed 7 times. No way with a justified mind like this. So it has to be buried with his own blood. But it was so fair that the believers go further some regulations, but some not. So that's why Joseph of Arimathea, no way, we are not going to put him in a common place. Yeah. No. Take my personal grave. I offer, and it's 100 meters far. So he brought and another interesting thing. Only the family could receive the body of a justified, how do you say justiciado?
Condemned.
A condemned man, only the family. But who was at that time of the family of Jesus present? Just Mary. So Joseph of Arimathea acted instead of Mary. So arrived in front of Pilate, representing Mary and asking for the body of Jesus to bury it. And when he got it, he went in speed by what he could find. There was no Macy's at that time. There was not any mall. He bought what he could, a piece of linen 4.5 meters, more or less, high of the length, and right. But the gospel says that this piece covering his face, once he was put it in the sepulcher, it was folded and put
Separate place.
in another place. And what will happen the day of the resurrection according to the gospel of St. John? Peter and John arrive, and Peter, as a notary, describes, by the way, he is the first notary of the history, and he describes what he has seen. They arrived and they saw yes, but some of the what is the name of this piece of cloth? Sudarium, because it's a piece of 50 centimeters of length, and it was brought by the Jews here. Imagine the belt, and then here the Sudarium. It's exactly para secar, to dry the face because of the perspiration, the transpiration, no, of anyone. So they took the Sudarium of someone, they covered with that, and they folded and put aside what? Aside the shroud. So that is the Sudarium, and that isn't right now in Oviedo. But the Sudarium do not have any image. The Sudarium only has blood. But the blood that you can find in the Sudarium is the same type, AV, as the shroud. And if you analyze very, very well, that piece of cloth corresponds exactly to the blood, and the blood coming out from here, and the blood coming out from here. So you can really see how it was put. So the body was like this, and so it recollects blood from here and blood from here. And by the way, why you see here a lot of blood? Well, it's very easy to understand. If you have the helmet, the cross, and you are like this, in order to breathe, what do I have to do?
Pull yourself up.
Up, in order to open my lungs and make the air come in. But on doing that, I have to push my head back. So I myself, I am making special harm on my back, producing more blood, no, coming out. And so this is the Sudarium, and by a mistake, some call the shroud the Sudarium. It's not the Sudarium. The Sudarium is another thing. The Sudarium is the one in Oviedo, and it was in the body of Jesus just from the moment when he was dead up to the moment when he was in the sepulcher. They folded and put aside. And that's exactly what Peter and John saw. That, and another thing also of the translation. In Spanish, in French, and in Italian, the translation says that Peter and John, when they arrived the Sunday Easter to the tomb, they saw the shroud laying puestas en el suelo. English say laying down is the only good translation. but French, Italian, tiradas por el suelo. It's a bad translation. The Greek says, kai theorei, kei mena, taotonia, kei mena. Kai theorei, taotonia, kei mena. Y vio, and look, and see, and saw, the shroud, taotonia, kei mena. Kei mena means laying down. And why the gospel says that John gets into, looks, and he saw and believed. Because, remember, John was a witness of the burial. Peter was not there. It's like imagine that we are here with Mary Jane, and we are together until 1 o'clock in the morning, and we leave 10 books here. We went away. But then, the day after, comes, she comes, someone takes out 3 of the books, she comes, for her to see and to find 7 books or 10 books, it doesn't mean nothing, because she hasn't been with us until 3 o'clock in the morning. You see? So for Peter, he arrives to the sepulchre, he looks at it, for him it doesn't mean anything, just the body is not there. But for John, kai theorei taotonia keimena, what does it mean? He looks at the shroud exactly in the same position, but the body is not there. So for him, he is risen. He saw and believed. You understand why? Completely different. But so the importance of looking at the original text of the gospel, the Greek text.